Need men?
I don't personally think so. I'm doing fine without them.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
We can do things ourselves.
Do we need men?
I don't think so, not really. Studies have shown you don't actually need them. I think they're great. Some of them are great. Sometimes you just don't need them.
Men build the world that you live in.
Oh, okay.
Who built that house or apartment you live in? Was it a crew of women? Who designed the metal work? Who put in the floor, the plumbing, the electrical system, the heat? Who put that in? The car you drive, was that built by a crew of women?
So women are not capable of doing none of those.
Excuse me?
Look, I'm gonna go on pause it and go in. Shout out to all our new subscribers, but y'all already know kind of how I feel about this subject, right? So I brought this clip up because I wanted to point out he said it about everything I said in my car. When you left to choose by your own devices, you don't choose to meet us in the heart department. You want to be CEOs, but you don't want to be nobody that built it from the ground up. That ain't what you want to be. You want to take the comfortable jobs. You don't want to bricklay. You don't want to do construction. You don't want to build these houses. Like he said, the plumbing, the electrician, the heating, the air. Did you do it? I can do electrical work, right?
Drywall.
Okay. I can do all this, right, Pop? You know how to read blueprints and schematics?
You gonna put the carpet on the floor? You gonna put the
You gonna do
tile
it?
down?
Do you know how they lay it down and cut it? Do you know how to do that? Not only, and the problem ain't that you can't learn it. You don't want to learn it. That ain't what y'all want to do.
Because that's extremely physical.
Come on now.
That's a physical job. That's not standing outside and on a road crew and I'm standing there with a sign.
Come on now.
That's not what this is. We talking about, as we say sometimes, this is real grown man work.
It's real grown man work.
So we talking about real grown man work. Now hold on. I always got to say this about what you all just said. Now, for all y'all listening, for men and or women that's actually listening, don't miss this part. Here we go. Check this out. Would none of y'all be here without a man?
Nobody.
Because it took a man's sperm in order to fertilize the egg in order for you to be here. So for you to sit around and talk about you don't need a man, that's the only reason why you even exist right now is because of a man.
Now, I'm glad you went that far, and then I'm going to end it with this part, right? But outside of that part, which is the beginning stage of life for all men and women,
for all
right?
men and women.
But you never would have survived to this point in life without men.
No.
Men had to go and kill and tame these animals and build these structures for you to be safe in.
Right.
Without men, we never get anywhere that we are today. Without men, bottom line. There ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And of course, we needed women because we need y'all to procreate and make more people. That's a fact. Both people are needed. But men don't get out here and make a bunch of videos talking about, oh yeah, we don't need women. Because I'm sorry, we just don't say stupid stuff like that. We back in.
Because we're given a choice, because women are free today, right? And why don't we see 51% of the construction workers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the plumbers, electricians, military, train operators? Because when given an opportunity, women segregate themselves into more comfortable positions.
Ding, ding, ding.
What?
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
My
Y'all
wife
know
and I
we
have
saying.
been married for 4 years. She brought 3 kids from a previous relationship into the marriage while I have none. They moved into my house after marriage because I live in a better school district. Obviously, we've had our ups and downs, but overall it's been good until a couple weeks ago when I woke up and found a large dent running down the entire passenger seat of my car. The dent is about hands wide. I was furious and thought someone sideswept my car as it was parked on the street. I checked the doorbell camera to see if anything was recorded, and to my surprise, it was our 16-year-old daughter sneaking out of the house in the middle of the night and driving off in my car. She later returned 2 hours, stumbling into the house. I angrily showed my wife the recording, told her that our daughter needs to be punished, but she said that she'll talk to her. I argued that talk isn't enough, which led us to an argument. My wife argued that the new family dynamic has been hard on the kids, and while I argued that doesn't excuse the damage done to my car, I wanted her to agree to ground our daughter from social media and make her get a job to pay for the damages. We argued for hours until she said, I don't get a say in any punishment because I'm not the father. That ended the argument and I walked off. Since then, I've checked out of parental duties. I've been an adult and still make sure that the kids are safe, fed, but I haven't done anything a father would do. They had doctor's appointments last week and I refused to drive them, causing my wife to have to take work off. They start school next week and I've dropped them off ever since they moved in, but I told my wife that she'll have to do it this year. She said she can't because of her work schedule, and I answered a mother would figure it out. She called me a child and told me that I had to grow up. I think since I'm not the father, I don't have to take any responsibilities. Obviously, she disagrees.
Now, here's my thing, right? And I wanted to make sure that we touched on that. Now, Pop, I need to know how you really feeling about all that.
Wow.
I need to know, like, so you know what I'm saying? That's a whole lot that we just took in, right? That's a whole lot. So let's me and you run it down real quick. So the young man has no kids. He meet a woman, fall in love. She come in with 3 kids into the marriage.
That's 3 babies.
3 babies. They've been married for a certain amount of years. Excuse me, because I forgot the amount of years that he just said. And that's my fault. But they got so many, I think he said 7 years, was it? I think it said 7
Something
years.
like that. Yeah, they got.
I want to say like said 7 years, right? So 7 years, and then you gonna tell me that the kids, the new family dynamic has been hard on the kids if we got multiple years married? Our 16-year-old daughter was wrong. She snuck out our house. She wrecked one of our cars. She came back clearly intoxicated or under some kind of substance.
And you make excuses for it.
And you're going to make excuses for it.
That's what you're doing. You make excuses for it.
And then look at me and tell me I can't say nothing because I'm not the daddy. But I'm in here paying. I'm in here doing. What you mean? What you mean?
I've been doing all of the daddy
Come
duties.
on now. He said he been picking the kids up.
Come on.
Been doing the school pick up and drop off.
He been doing all that.
Protecting, providing.
That's what he been doing.
You brought you and your 3 kids in.
That's right. So now all of a sudden, because
I can't say nothing.
Because there's a disciplinary issue that we need to address, you gonna tell me I ain't the pappy.
That's pretty much what you said.
That's what you said.
No burning back from life.
You gonna tell me I ain't the pappy.
Hey, what he said like that? I'm the baby. That what Bernie Mac said. But you say I ain't the pappy.
Okay, well hold on. But now since I ain't the pappy, then guess what? I'm really not mad at him for going around and saying, you know what? Since I ain't the pappy, then guess what? The pappy duties are no longer going on. I'm not doing those anymore. Period.
Pop, what we used to always say, we finna bring it back. I ain't saying he should have did it, but I understand. Right? Like you said. So you think I'm gonna keep doing my hold on. So after you disrespected me, after you allowed so-called it was our daughter before I wanted to discipline her.
Right. It was our daughter.
It was our daughter before I wanted to discipline. Now it's your daughter. And after both of y'all disrespect me, you think I'm still picking people up and dropping them off and doing that every day? If y'all gonna pick and choose when I can be a daddy, then I'm gonna pick and choose when I can be one too. You can't decide I'm gonna be no daddy for my finances and my resources and my protection, but then turn around and tell me you don't want nothing else. Well, then if you don't want me to give you no guidance and no direction, you don't want my paper route either.
And then you notice that she gonna try to tell me he was childish. What? No.
Look.
No. Your issue is that all of a sudden, and then, but notice let me say this. Notice one of the things he said. He said a mama will figure it out.
Come on now.
So now he took the ball, threw the ball back in your court. So now you got to figure out how you gonna get these kids back and forth to school, appointments and all that on your schedule. You got to figure that out, man.
And this man been helping you.
this whole entire time.
You ain't had to figure this out at all. You been had help. You done married a man with no kids. He done took your 3 kids in, want to treat them like they own. And the only thing he asked you to do was we got to lay down some law and some discipline, right? So we already know. I don't believe in a kid being in my house and they can't get no discipline.
No, you gonna live with me?
I got 7 kids. I got 3 biologically. I got 3 nephews and a niece, which you already know, Pop, that live with me that I've been raising, right? They wouldn't be there if they mamas didn't understand they gonna have to cooperate and I'm gonna be able to hand out discipline. These hands is ready to eat. They for everyone. My kids' mama understand. Everybody got to understand. You can't ask me to be a man when you choose to. You got to let me be a man all the time, or don't ask me to do it. I'm not gonna be no part-time dad and no part-time leader and no part-time father. I'm not gonna be that. So how you gonna ask that man to go out here and do all of these things, but he can't get no punishment for wrecking the car?
And then notice what he did as well, though. Now, I mean, notice. Which what I'm gonna say in our position. I'm gonna say in our position. What we've actually done is that you notice this man did the same thing. He was responsible for the pickup and the drop off and making sure that they got to where they needed to go.
Come on now.
See, that's literally what a lot of men, that's their responsibility. They'll jump in and that's exactly what they'll do. They're gonna pick them up, they're gonna drop them off, they're gonna make them get to their doctor's appointment, all of those different types of things.
And so you getting all this extra help because them is not his kids.
Thank you. And now he's telling you, hey, you know what? Now you got to figure it out. Don't be mad because you took wanting him to be a daddy. You
took it for granted.
You took it for granted. Hold on, but you took that off the table.
You did.
You did that.
You did that.
You took that off the table.
That's facts. Because regardless of who the father and mother, I don't care about any of that. If you are a parent raising kids and you look on your camera and one of your kids done snuck out the house and wrecked one of the cars, it's got to be some form of discipline. It's got to be.
That ain't okay.
You cannot allow that young man or that young woman to think that they can go out here and make these kind of decisions and it's okay. Regardless of what we talking about in this particular scenario that brought us up to this conversation, Pop. If you are a parent, something's got to be done when your child has made a mistake and then you came back intoxicated. You came back drunk, you stumbling and stuff. So you done snuck out, stole our car, wrecked the car, then came back drunk. And what I supposed to do? Hand you a high five?
And let you say everything is okay.
Come on, Pop.
And you 16 years old?
And you 16.
Come on,
so
man.
where is it that the mom thought that the dad was right? When the so-called dad, when they want him to be, where did you think he was wrong when he felt like she needed some discipline? So what we gonna do? We gonna do nothing?
So all of a sudden when it comes down to the discipline aspect, now you don't want him to be the daddy.
No.
But in everything else, you want him to be the daddy.
Picking him up, dropping him off, I'm the dad.
Finances, resources, you said a minute ago.
I'm the dad.
But when it comes down to the discipline aspect,
You're not the daddy.
You're not the daddy. Okay, well then guess what? I'm gonna keep it real with you. So as we talk about all the time, so if I can't be the daddy, then you can take your kids and y'all can leave.
And it's that simple. You don't live up, look, you ain't gonna live in my house and do what you wanna do.
No. You can take your kids and you can go.
But how you gonna ask me for that? Here's the thing. The man was only asking for some form of discipline.
That's all he asking. Something small in my mind.
Yeah.
You could have took a phone for a little while, iPad or
whatever it is. He just asked for something. Her reply was, you ain't the pappy.
Can't go to no schools.
Okay.
Can't go to no parties or whatever the case may be.
So then, as you said,
something.
Then I don't blame him. And as we end this episode of Me and Pop, we on the couch, TikTok, we tell it like it is. Y'all come check us out. What did we say, Pop? I ain't saying he should have did it.
But I understand.